Hello everyone, it's Moonkin FTW, back with another video, back with another episode of the RCT 3 Coaster Challenge, series where I try to build a decent coaster for every single coaster type in the game. And in this episode we're going to tackle the glider coaster, which again, I'm pretty sure is a coaster I never ever touched in RCT. So the idea with this roller coaster is I wanted to make something a bit compact, because I know that the few examples that are still alive in the real world are also a bit compact. But I did want to expand on this because I think most of these glider coasters, all they have is some inline twists and that's it. And the glider coaster in RCT3 for some reason offers a lot more inversion, so you can make cobra rolls, corkscrews, loopings, and these very large overbank turns, which I've never seen any like that in real life. Maybe I've missed one, but yeah, it's interesting to see. So we're gonna try and use that, not to its fullest, but I definitely want to use some of it in this roller coaster. So I still want it to be compact, limited to a limited space, if you will, but I did want to have a good amount of inversions in there. And I know that in real life, these types of roller coasters are not the most favorite, if you will. People really hate them because apparently they're very, very uncomfortable to ride. But of course, in RCT3, we don't really care because, all we care about is the stats. There's no guests complaining, oh, this ride is too uncomfortable, or oh, these these lap bars are awful. They just, they care about the excitement, the nausea, and the intensity. So here we're using Moby Steel Jungle. I said this before in my inverted roller coaster video, the compact inverted roller coaster, and that is that unfortunately that building these custom supports for inverted roller coasters can take a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time. So what I'm doing here is I'm using JCAT Steelworks, which is still a good add-on for custom supports. It's just by far not as versatile as something like Moby Steel Jungle, which is a bit unfortunate. But something like Moby Steel Jungle will cost a lot of time to make for inverted roller coasters. And like I said before, I want these roller coasters to take a decent amount of time, but not so much that it's going to take hours and hours and hours for every single design. Of course, there are some exceptions, like the drift coaster or that splash boat, where I just have a lot of inspiration. In terms of theming for this one, I didn't really have much inspiration at all, actually. So I was really struggling, like, what should I do here with this roller coaster? Should I try some Egyptian theming again? Should I just make general theming? Should I make something like horror? I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna try and kind of make some sort of a botanical garden. So this idea is that you're, on this glider coaster and you're flying through this botanical garden and you're enjoying the view of like flowers and trees and bushes and fountains and all that, while of course you're being flung around in multiple inversions and everything. So it's like, that kind of would work. It's always, when you make some decent foliage, like some flowers and trees and gardens, it will look actually pretty nice in RCT3. So I figured, I'm just gonna do that, not make it too complicated. And yeah, that's kind of the design I went for. And as you can see here, it does kind of work. I think it's quite nice. It's a bit basic, but again, I didn't really have that much inspiration for this roller coaster. So this is still a decent option. And of course, nice thing about JCAT Steelworks is that with these straight supports, so to say, I'm able to actually place some footers just to make it a bit more realistic. Because in the compact inverted roller coaster, I didn't do that because the A-frame that I use, is not compatible with these footers. But here I can absolutely do it and absolutely, well, I wouldn't say get away with it, but you know what I mean. So here we have the station and of course the queue line. I'm growing more and more fond of this style of pathing. I'm not sure what it's called, but it just looks kind of nice and cozy. So I'm just going to build a queue line here and of course some tents to hide or provide shade while the guests are queuing for this ride. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the glider coaster. Wasn't easy to make, and that's simply because I have literally zero experience with this one. I'm pretty sure I've never ever made one of these. So that's why I have this pre-made roller coaster right here. I had to basically look up how to build the chain lift in the first place. I was like, how does this work? I have no clue. Help. So, but this is what this challenge is about. You know, it's me making roller coasters that I've never made before. So, you know, it's a nice opportunity for me to do something fresh and interesting, stuff that I haven't done before. And I think it turned out okay. It's not great. It's not amazing. But again, I didn't want to spend an eternity on these custom supports for inverted roller coasters. They're very time consuming. So let's go ahead and save this game right here. And yeah, let's give it a ride. So let's see here. Oh yeah, I forgot to change the color scheme of the coaster cars, of course. I want this to look a bit nicer. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. Starting up top. Oh, there we go. Nice. All right, here we go. In this very typical fashion, we're going up and up. I do really like the way this chain lift was, this lift hill was invented, if you will, because it doesn't use a chain. It kind of just spins you to the top, which makes for a very compact kind of way to, gain elevation, if you will. So, all right, here we are at the top. I'm going to start off first with a kind of a big drop here, and into a large overbank turn. That must feel pretty cool in one of these coaster cars, assuming it's not super uncomfortable. It's into a bank turn here. You can see the inversions are not amazing, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, the supports, I mean. So here we go into some inversions. We got a nice loop here. Into a cobra roll. Actually, no. In RCT 3, it doesn't look too bad in terms of how shaky it is. Little interline twist into a corkscrew, into another corkscrew, and then a half loop. Pretty nutty inversions here. We have another turn to the right. Small little, well, I wanted to call it an airtime hill, but of course that doesn't really count for an inverted roller coaster. Into a final twist. Nice. A few bank turns. And then finally a small helix. Nice. That's actually not bad. Again, you know, it's not amazing because I have very little experience with this ride. But yeah, for what it is, well, not too bad. So that concludes the glider coaster. I'm happy to have made this. Again, it was something very new for me. But like I said, that's also part of the fun and part of the challenge of this challenge, I guess. So yeah, we're nicely on our way. We've got a decent amount of coasters done, but we still have some work to do. And you'll see that in the next video. But for now, thank you very much for watching and have yourself a wonderful day.